Alright, somewhere over there where that Indian money and that leaf, see them rolling? See that thing moving? I think some type of an isopod. See him coming up on that rock? I've got a few of them in there now. I think they're just hanging out in the shadows for now. And then when I turn the light off, they come on out. They may put me a real dim light in there. Oh, ambient light. Just the light from the TV might be enough to catch them. We'll see. Alright. So after practicing for 5 minutes talking to the camera, I finally decided to turn it on. But anyway, I added some, that's a seed from, I'm not sure if it's a maple. I think it's a maple. But this time of year, leaves are falling into the water, or, seeds and pollen. So I thought I'd bring a few dry leaves and stuff in here. A new magnolia leaf over there. There's stuff down there on the bottom, of course, getting acclimated. And then I just now took my first ride on my motor scooter. I've been practicing, but this is the first time I've gone, so I went and checked the creek out, and looks like it's finally down to where I could go try to see if there's any crayfish or snails out and about. But yeah, that was my first time to use my scooter like I intended for short trips, to go to the creek, to the store, to the drugstore, stuff like that. I don't think I'll ever feel comfortable enough to go on long trips. I think I'd prefer to have a car for that type thing. But anyway, just a little quick update on the tank. By the way, that's over there is a Christmas cactus. It had a long root, so I thought maybe it might sip from some water, and who knows what it'll do. I don't know, where's a Thanksgiving cactus? I left them outside and we had a frost, so I think they're dead. But I thought this might give them one last good shot with a whole lot of water that's got a lot of nutrients in it. For better or for worse, that's their last hurrah. I think I'm going to go get me a long set of tweezers, some aquarium tweezers, and introduce a plant or two. I really wanted to find a floating plant, but I'm going to put in there what I have, and I'm going to keep this on the cheap and using native found things. So this is a creek near my house, so things that would naturally fall in or naturally be there is what I'm going to try to keep to. And I think this thing will definitely benefit from some snails. Those little guys over there is my only worry. If I put some snails in here, although that is life. It's a cycle of life. Put some snails, and if I had fish in there, they'd probably go over and peck on them too. So, so I don't know. think crayfish and snails. Then if you look at the sand and such, I think bacteria is overtaking, little pockets that are in there. That's why it's turning black. So probably lack of oxygen and, oh, what's that? I didn't see him till just now. Can't keep my hand still. See if I can steady my hand here. Oh, there's two of them. Maybe I'll wait and see if their population does anything. Maybe they'll grow in numbers and start changing the tank. Is that another one over in the background? Oh no. Well, so we got bugs. Bugs and bugs. Two different bugs in there now, at least. I've got an isopod, and I think those little cyclops are called crustaceans, but I'm not sure. But we'll see. The tank's getting dark. Some of it's because of what's growing on the glass, but some of it's because of the tannins from those mahogany leaves. Magnolia leaves, not mahogany. Magnolia. Alright. Well, I've added an air stone, for the minute anyway. There's a pretty good picture or video of these I don't know, whatever they are. Worms, I guess. Not sure, but I think there's a third set of them now. Go back and check my videos, but I don't remember. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. I don't remember. Yeah, there's like a little small set there in the middle. It looked like they got a little bigger too. Or maybe this is just a better picture. But keep in mind how big, those are not very big at all. I don't know if I can. I don't even tell, but the whole length of them is the size of the tip of my finger. Interesting though. Water still don't really have a big smell to it, so I guess it's not fouled yet. I'm surprised. I figured it'd smell like a septic tank by now, but I guess the bacterias and everything are doing their jobs. Kind of hoping to see when those things move. When they get hit with something, they withdraw real fast. Well, without the light, that's what they look like. Kind of an interesting view of them. I can see them kind of moving around in the water current. That movement might feed them, I guess. Make something that they might eat flow in their direction. My idea is I'm going to get a tight filter that has a little lift tube on it and a little thing at the top that's directional that'll create some flow and make it a little bit more like a creek, the way it has movement in it. Although that's doing pretty good by itself, I gotta say. But I'm gonna get it to not be very loud either, because right now I don't think I can take the sound it makes all the time. But might let it run for about an hour, because it also disrupts the other little animals in there that are supposed to be in more still water. Almost like I need a air stone that maybe don't put out so much air. Like I said, I don't know if you can tell, but that's the whole, that hole from top to bottom is only about 6 inches, and when you zoom in on those little worms, you can see how tiny they are. But anyway, when I put some more magnolia leaves in there, make the water just a little darker. It makes this stuff stand out where I can see it a little bit better. It's not really about the tint or the tint of the water, more or less. It's about getting those little creatures to stand out a little bit better. Kind of like highlights them a little bit. But I don't know, things in there might like a little oxygen. I don't know how long that would have to run to really make a difference in there. We'll see. I'll let it run for an hour or so, I guess. Maybe 2 hours. Well, the little worm, sea anemone type things have definitely grown. There was 3, now there's quite a bit more. I've added an air stone, which will probably disrupt things, but as leaves and things are being kind of tumbled around. But I mean, that's the way it'd been in a creek, so I guess they'll adapt or move or something. I don't know. Little colony of them though. Look how much of them it's got now. Go back to one of my earlier videos. There was only like one little or 2 little strings of them. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe some branches. And they've gotten bigger. I'm trying to get a picture of that part where they've gotten bigger, but so far my camera just won't let it happen. So what I'm thinking about doing is trying the old light trick again. I'll try the camera light. See now it's kind of showing up. On those, I'm trying to get those, whatever those two bigger ones are, but they definitely seem to have grown and multiplied. See how they're just kind of reaching out to try to catch things. Yeah. Just can't get a real clear image of them. Not positive, but I think they're growing outwards off the glass now too, but I'm not having a hard time seeing that. Wish I could pick up on what that larger thing over there is, but just can't seem to get it. Where'd it go? Can't seem to get it to focus. There's too much stuff in there for it to focus, and there's no manual focus. That's what this needs, is a manual focusing. There they are right there. That's a pretty good picture of it finally. At 4 times power. Now I'm wondering if maybe they caught some cyclops and are eating them. That could be possible. Maybe there's some type of a hydra. I don't know. That's probably one of the better pictures that I had of it. Keep in mind that they're growing away from the glass, so I'm looking at them from a kind of a backward angle. I see one of them at least moving.